Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon, and a funny thing happened. Sony decided they were going to shut down Concord already. It's over. It is game over for this game, and we're talking, what, a week? Maybe 2 weeks? This game reportedly cost a couple $100 million to make. It was years in development, and we were told, hey, the bigots are mad, but that's okay. This game's gonna be a huge hit. This is a game for the modern audience, just like Suicide Squad, and just like all these other games that have lost massive amounts of money. And it's such a colossal failure that Sony is pulling the plug after like a week. And of course, on Twitter, on X, they have the replies turned up. That's okay. We'll go out to some of the quote retweets here. Yeah, this game peaked at 697 players. Now that's on Steam, but it's estimated that less than 20,000 people, less than 10,000 people actually purchased this game, and some people probably bought it just to see how bad it was. For those of you who are not aware, it's basically an Overwatch clone. But everybody is diverse, inclusive, and body positive. And this game was kind of the, I guess, epitome of everything that is going on in AAA gaming right now. Very 2016, 2017 game. And it's done. It's over. Gamers aren't having it anymore. It's really hard to justify putting games like this out when you've got games like Stellar Blade and Wukong out there. You know, Black Myth doing really, really well. And there's no political stuff in those games. Players are going back and they're playing old games. They're not playing the new stuff. So let's talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. So yeah, Variety covered it. And I can't wait until they blame the bigots, right? Because if there really were that many people seriously interested in playing this game, right, it wouldn't have mattered what the bigots on YouTube or the bigots on X said. You know, the majority would rule, and lots of people would buy this game and play this game and enjoy this game and tell the bigots to get lost. But only about 697 people could be bothered. You know? Well, actually, it's more than that. A couple thousand people. But, you know, for how much this game cost? God, Variety has it. PlayStation to shut down new game Conquered 2 weeks after launch. It will refund players. They're taking its new Firewalk-developed live service game Conquered offline Friday and issuing refunds. Holy hell! To players just 2 weeks after its August 23rd launch. This seems unprecedented to me. Has this happened before with a major like Sony release? Has this ever happened? I don't think this has ever happened. If a game's defective, there's that one zombie game. I remember people were talking about that because it didn't deliver on what was promised, and they actually pulled it from the store. But I think this might be unprecedented. It's the team-based first-person shooter game is reported to have drawn a historically small audience during its initial availability across PS5 and PC, with third-party PC-based gaming data website SteamDB showing 30 in-game players at the time of publication. Now there's like 60 in before lock, right? At the peak in its short history, Concord only had 697 concurrent players. Again, that's Steam, not PlayStation. Drastically low for a PlayStation new release and ranked toward the bottom of PlayStation's weekly sales charts. In Concord, which has largely been compared to popular multiplayer shooter Overwatch, players assemble a crew of free gunner space outlaws from the spacecraft North Star for online games between 2 teams of 5 members each. Are there enough people playing this game to have 2 teams of 5 members each? Why do I get the feeling it's just like a handful of friends playing this game? Like that's it. And it's probably all gaming journos. It's probably all gaming journos on right now, I bet. With so few people playing Conquered, matchup availability became difficult. Conquered fans. Well, okay, let's go out to this. They're fans. An important update on Conquered. Conquered fans, we've been listening closely to your feedback since the launch of Conquered on PlayStation 5 and PC, and want to thank everyone who has joined the journey aboard the North Star. Your support and the passionate community that has grown around the game has meant the world to us. Yeah, like a couple dozen people probably posting in the forums or whatever. However, while many qualities of the experience resonated with players, we also recognize that other aspects of the game in our initial launch didn't land well. Didn't land the way we'd intended. Damn those gamer gators. Damn those gamer gators. Therefore, at this time, we have decided to take the game offline beginning September 6th and explore options, including those that will better reach our players. Tits and ass. Tits and ass, Sony. That's all you got to do. No, I'm kidding. I think people are over live service games, and for the most part, like, they're going to play what they're going to play, right? Everybody's kind of settled on a game or two that they play if you're into those kinds of games, and that's what they're going to play. They're going to play Fortnite, they're going to play Valorant, they're going to play, you know, Call of Duty, whatever, and they're not going to switch to Concord. I mean, with the diverse and inclusive lineup of chubby women or whatever, robots and shit. While we would determine the best path ahead, Concord sales will cease immediately. And we're going to begin to offer a full refund for all gamers who have purchased the game for PS5 or PC. Damn. If you purchased the game for PS5 from the PlayStation Store or PlayStation Direct, a refund will be issued back to your original payment method. Customers who purchase from other digital storefronts will be refunded. More information about refunds from Steam and Epic can be found below. It's not going to be hard. Not a lot of people bought the game. You can have the intern issue those refunds. Epic Game Store will refund players who bought the game in the coming days. Other retailer refunds for customers who purchased a physical copy at a retailer location outside of PlayStation directly. Please refer to the refund process of the retailer you purchased it from and obtain your refund. Or, I think Stuttering Craig from Side Scrollers said you could hang on to that physical release because it's going to be a collector's item, right? If you've actually got a physical copy of this game, it might actually wind up being one of the most valuable PlayStation 5 games ever made because it was only out for 2 weeks. We'll keep you updated. So maybe they'll retool it. Maybe they'll tinker with it and bring it back as something else. I don't know. So let's look at these quote retweets. Damn. What do we got here? Paul Tassi. Concord is flat out being taken offline for the time being, maybe forever. Refunds issued. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. There's the confirmation. 8 years to create this game, and it doesn't even last a month. Money well spent, Sony. Gamers warned you. You didn't listen, and now you have to take a giant L. It'd be funny if it weren't so pathetic. Oh, what the hell? I'll laugh anyway. Yeah, so I can just hear Kotaku now. Their keyboards are furiously clacking. How the bigots destroyed the most diverse and inclusive shooter game ever. Finally, I felt seen because I wasn't seen enough in Overwatch with their friggin' 72 heroes or whatever the hell they have, you know, in Overwatch. And there's been lesbians since day one in 2016, but whatever. Yeah, this is a massive L. This is insane. I feel terrible for killing this game as soon as it was announced. Why? It's a mercy killing. This game was stillborn. No, that's Dustborn. That's another one. We could just DM them. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Like, there's only, well, like I said, now there's like 62. Let's hit refresh. A lot of people. Oh, 79 people. Oh my God, guys. It's picking up steam. Yeah, you could just send them a DM or an email. The YouTube grifters are definitely going to milk this story. Yes, we are, Rue. Yes, we are. No, they're going to blame us. They're going to blame people like us. But it wasn't our fault. Like, the majority of people, the general audience, right? The general audience doesn't watch us. They don't watch YouTube. They don't watch those YouTubers ranting about stuff. That's a very, very, very small subset of gamers that watches channels like ours, right? This is the general public not giving a shit. They don't give a shit about your DEI, AAA, whatever game. They don't care. This is Sony. Like, Sony promoted this game heavily. They actually, they ran commercials for it. They had it at Gamescom. I think they had a trailer for it. And like right out of the gate, though, we had the developers like, finally, this is the kind of game that we need with no toxic white men at all. And it's funny because even people that aren't white and male and straight are sick of this shit. Basically, everybody's over it, right? These games took years. These DEI-infested AAA titles took years to get to market. And you guys still think it's 2016, 2017, and everybody's over it. Like, even Hollywood is moving on, right? They're canceling shit that they know nobody's going to go see. And they're kind of going back to center, right? Because they have to, because they need the money. There is no room in the AAA gaming space for games like this that appeal to a very small audience and don't perform. Actually, they would have been better off releasing this as an indie title, right? Even if they had, I'm going to be honest, this is coming from a marketing guy. Come up with another label, release it, rename it, release it as an indie title, and pander to that audience that you want. It's much smaller than the audience that plays Fortnite or Call of Duty, but you might be able to build it up organically. But because it was a big Sony release and you threw it in everybody's faces and you said, here, bigots, you must like this game. People said, no, I don't have to like anything. I don't want to like. This is wild, says Badlands Backlogs, Twitch TV. I hope that Team Firewalk Studios are able to figure something out and move on from this without Sony coming down too hard on them. Rather see the opportunity to grow and then more studios being hit this year. I'm going to be honest. There is zero room for multi-million-dollar failures at this point. We saw what happened to Suicide Squad. They basically took all of the profits from Hogwarts Legacy and burnt them. They just burnt them, just like the Joker. Because it was about sending the message. It wasn't about the money. It was about sending the message. This is going to go down the same way. And Sony is going to have to get its shit together. I'm waiting for Sony of Japan to grab California by the ear and be like, what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you doing? Wow. You could have made a new Killzone game with solid multiplayer offerings instead of this. Yeah. Brutal. Dat No Fact says, what an absolute embarrassment the live service game model is. It would have been fine if people wanted to play the game. Nobody wanted to play the game. More people worked on Concord than there were players. That's probably true. And that is a huge part of the problem with the AAA gaming space, right? Way more people working on these games than need to be there. And I think you've got too many cooks in the kitchen. And then you bring in, the Sweet Baby Inks and the, consultancies to come in and tell you what's wrong with your game to the tune of how many hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. Vex Electronica. Concord is getting taken offline, removed from stores, and will begin processing refunds at the end of the week so Firewalk Studios can explore better options. Yeah. Explore better options means keep your resume updated. Sony's going to shit can a bunch of you, I'm sure. It's not looking good, guys. Holy shit. Yeah, exactly. John Lindman here says, this feels unprecedented. I don't think this has ever happened before. Not for a game coming out from, a major release from Sony. I feel bad for the devs, but I commend them for taking decisive action. Curious to see what comes next and if they can rescue it. Just wild times. Kickstarter. Do a GoFundMe for Concord. Wow. Yeah, I think everybody is pretty much... Well, I actually agree with Frost here. It says live service PvP games need a minimum amount of players to sustain themselves, critical mass, and it's different for each game and genre. Otherwise, the systems won't work. We're talking 200,000 people minimum to, do the matches and stuff, which is true. And the thing is again, it's very hard to come into this space, I think, now when people are playing games from 10 years ago, right? Again, Call of Duty, Fortnite, hell, even Valorant, people, they've already settled on their game. Destiny, Destiny. If Destiny couldn't perform, right? Destiny 2 didn't do so hot, but did a hell of a lot better than this. What chance do they think they had? Release it as a single player game for a very small audience, and maybe you can scrape some of that money back. I don't know. Gonna wrap it up, guys. There it is. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.